Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be doing a really cool and awesome deck profile, as you can see by the playmat, of my Egyptian God deck. Now, if you guys are familiar, a few weeks ago on this channel, I did a deck profile of my Winged Dragon of Ra deck. That deck was specifically built around the Winged Dragon of Ra. And this version of this deck is built around specifically the Egyptian gods. Now, there is some additional Egyptian god support that will be coming out probably sometime in 2021. I don't know exactly when that's going to come out. It's been announced in the OCG, but we don't have a release date for the TCG. Do know that when that stuff does get announced, we will do a deck update of this deck. But this deck does use some of the newer Egyptian god support that we got for the Winged Dragon of Ra out of the recent, I don't want to say it's a duelist set, but a couple of months ago we got it. And I kind of used it and incorporated it into this deck. Now, as you guys know, if you're familiar with this channel, I built this deck, the Egyptian God deck, which uses all three Egyptian gods, some time ago on this channel. And now that we finally have some sort of support, that's what we're doing in this deck. We're running all the different Egyptian gods, and it's fairly easy to run them in this version of the deck. I would say if you're trying to run more of a quote-unquote, I mean, it is an Egyptian god deck, competitive Egyptian god deck, maybe you want to run the Winged Dragon of Ra. But for this version, we're running all of them, because that's the way this deck functions. It's a little bit different. So first we run the double Winged Dragon of Ra, the one Slifer the Sky Dragon, and the one Obelisk the Tormentor. Obelisk alone is a good standalone Egyptian god. It's pretty simple. Slifer is okay. Do not underestimate how powerful he can get, and his effect against certain matchups can be very, very good. And the Winged Dragon of Ra, we're running him as a 2-of, because this deck does have a lot of the elements of the Winged Dragon of Ra deck into it. So you're going to see similar, maybe different ratios, different, but you're going to also see similar cards and things that in this deck that really help it out, as well as some just older Egyptian god support as well, because this is focusing on not just one of the Egyptian gods, but all of them. Next we run 2 Sphere mode. You just need 2 in this version of the deck, along with the Winged Dragon Immortal Phoenix. That's all you need to run for this version of the deck. The deck is not, like I've said before, going to completely predicate on the Winged Dragon of Ra. Sphere mode, you can easily, search it out and get it out. It's going to work with your Winged Dragon of Ra and your Phoenix. So overall, in this version of the deck, you just need this ratio. So. Next we run 3, the Reactor Slime. This card is amazing in the Egyptian God deck, and definitely a staple in my opinion in this version of the deck for what it's trying to do. Get tokens on the field. You contribute these tokens off for divine monsters. There's multiple cards that will allow you to have an additional normal summon or a tribute summon. So that this card, in combination with some of the other cards in this deck, can be a 3-card combo. I mean, it is a 3-card combo, but you can pretty much, if you have an Egyptian God card in hand, you use one of these other spell cards, then you can bring in an Egyptian God card that turn. Pretty simple, very good starting hand, way to get cards out. You can tutor this card out from the deck very easily with Summoner Monk and some other things, but mainly Summoner Monk you can do it with, which is awesome. But I definitely like it as a staple 3-of in the deck. We also, in addition to that, run 3 Guardian Slime. Guardian Slime is pretty decent in this deck as well for what we're trying to do. Very good god support just in general. I like it as a staple 3-of in this version of the deck. Pretty staple for helping you use it with Metal Reflective Slime. Reactor Slime can also help, bring out your Metal Reflect Slime too and reuse it. So these cards are pretty essential in this deck because you can bring out Egyptian God Slime. Next we run 3 Summoner Monk. I find that in this version of the deck you may have a couple more deader spell cards than you would possibly in the normal Winged Dragon of Ra deck. That's just me. But I like the 3 Summoner Monk because the main things we're going to tutor out from the deck, guys, with this card is probably your Reactor Slime. So you can pitch a dead spell, tutor this out, get the tributes out, get the tokens out, and then go for a tribute. You're not going to be tributing your Summoner Monk, but you can tribute these guys here, which is awesome. because it's really nice to tune them out. And the also cool thing about the Summoner Monk is you also can just help you go into some basic rank 4s, which is really nice to do in the deck, because if say you already have an Egyptian God out and you just want to use Summoner Monk with another rank 4 to go for a level 4 Exceed play, maybe go for AA Zeus, you have options in this matter. So Summoner Monk is just versatile in this deck as well. The one Plague Spreader Zombie, we don't really use it for tuner support as much as we used to. Mainly it's going to be in here to be tribute fodder, which is very nice to have. You can pitch it easily, which is cool, from your hand deck to the graveyard. And in addition to that, guys, it also can be used with some of your cards in the deck, which you'll see a little bit later, to reset them. So with the ability to be tribute fodder, with the ability to do different things with it, I like it just as a staple 1-of in the deck. You don't have to run Plague, but I like him in the deck still for his versatility. The one Makiora the Destroyer, we just run him as a 1-of. This card's really nice, especially with your Meta Reflective Slime, which is kind of nice to have. So still like the card, even after the errata, as a just 1-of in the deck. 3 Ancient Chant in the deck. This is one of your staple cards in this version of the deck, I would say. Hands down. Staple card in this deck. So 3 Ancient Chant, it's going to allow you to search out divine monsters, mainly the Winged Dragon of Ra, and it's also going to give you another normal summon. So this can be comboed off with Reactor Slime pretty well. Next off, we run 3 Mound of the Bound Creator and 1 Terraforming. The ease of getting your level 10s out onto the field is pretty much more decent, and so I still like the 3 Mound of the Bound Creators and the 1 Terraforming. You want to get to this card as quickly as you can. The fact that we're running Summoner Monk, I'm more comfortable with running 3 of this now, because if it becomes dead, you can pitch it to graveyard. Also, don't forget, if this card gets destroyed, you get to search out a divine monster, so that's cool, but it's also good Summoner Monk fodder as well. Another good card for the deck is 3 Card Advance. Card Advance in this version of the deck is really good. If we were running a Winged Dragon of Ra version of the deck where we're just focusing on, one Pacific Egyptian god, maybe I wouldn't run Card Advance so much. But in this version of the deck, we're running multiple Egyptian gods. We're going to be having a lot of fodder out on the field. Card Advance is really nice. If it's dead, that's awesome. You can pitch it, but it's really going to help you bring out, your different things in the deck, and its effect is pretty decent as well. So I like 3 Card Advance only in this version of the deck, not any other. In addition to that, because we have the ability to stack cards with Card Advance, I do like True Name as a 2-of still in the deck. True Name is a nice card, helps you, special summon out divine monsters, which is nice actually, because in certain instances you can combo that off to help you go for things like Egyptian God Slime, which is really cool. But also you can add, depending upon the situation, you can add divine monsters from your deck to your hand and draw cards. So it works really well with Card Advance, which is really nice. This is the main card it's going to combo off with. But Card Advance, in addition to also Ancient Chant, are really some of your power plays in the deck. So just wanted to explain that. But True Name is really cool to run in this deck as just a 2-of. 3-of is too much. Next we run 2 Millennium Revival. This card's pretty good. I like it as a 2-of in this deck. It's going to work with your Monster Reborn that we run in the deck, guys. But I definitely like 2 Millennium Revival. Really useful, helps you get, if you draw into some of the Egyptian gods, you can send them to grave to do things with your Monster Reborn. So I like it as a 2-of, really. 1, the Rank Up Magic, the 7th one. This is just a nice power play card in the deck that works very well. With Card Advance, you can set it, which is really cool. You can hard draw it, which is really cool. And then if you somehow drew the card and you're like, oh, I don't want to do anything with it, I want to reset it, you can use Plague Spreader Zombies effect to set this on top of your deck. So that's why I like this card just as a 1-of. It's a good little power play in the deck. Don't underestimate it. You don't have to run it. I've just always liked this card in this deck because it can automatically win you games by bringing out a powerful monster. So I just like it as a 1-of, that's all. For your other cards that are one-ofs, you run one Upstart Goblin, makes it a 39-card deck, gives you a little bit of draw engine. You're going to be bringing out big beaters, guys. 1,000 life points is nothing. One Foolish Burial, you can help send Plague Spreader Zombie, your Immortal Phoenix, things of this nature to grave. One Call by the Grave, this is going to protect you against hand traps. And the one Monster Reborn, I just had to go with the gold rare one because I just like it in this version of the deck. But one Monster Reborn as well. There's multiple things you can use it. You're going to be using it with Millennium Revival, etc. In addition to these, for our trap lineup, we run 2 Metal Reflective Slime. I just like it as a 2-of in the deck. Some people like 3-of, some people like 1-of. It's up to you. Personally, I just like it as a 2-of. And in addition to that, I run one Sun God Unification. This is just a good 1-of card. At first, I wasn't running this card, but it's searchable, which is nice, and it can be very useful. Like I said, even though this is an Egyptian God deck, guys, and you're going to be running the different Egyptian gods, Winged Dragon of Ra has an archetype built around it. So it's going to be, quote-unquote, more of the boss monster than the other Egyptian gods. So that's why you see me running like different Winged Dragon of Ra support cards. So that's the Egyptian god support, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's get on to the extra deck. You have to remember, guys, it's not a monster, it's a god. Because we're going to use the Hieratic Chant and the Fury of Thunder. Yeah, I got these specifically for this deck because I just freaking think it's badass to have all those quotes from the original series. You run 3 Egyptian God Slime. You can definitely go through 3 per duel. It's very easy in this deck to make multiples of Egyptian God Slime. I find that it's a lot more easier. There's different ways to get the big boys out, be it through True Name, be it through whatever. So 3 Egyptian God Slime. For some rank 4s, we run 1 number 41 Bagasucha, 1 number 60. 60 you can do some cool little plays with. Tornado Dragon for back row, you don't like it. Divine Arsenal AA Zeus the Sky Thunder. This is a good 1-of to run in the deck. It's just a power play card in the deck, which is really nice. 1 number 104 Masquerade. 1 number C104, which is really a good card. Number 101, Silent Honor. 1 C101. 107, Tachyon Dragon. And then C101, Tachyon Dragon. If you're wondering where these ones come from, yes, I know it takes up a lot of the extra deck, but you really don't use the extra deck too much besides Summoner Monk plays. So this here is specifically here for the Rank Up Barion's Force card. The Rank Up the 7th one, excuse me. For extra your Link monsters, we're just running 2 of them. We're running Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Cerberus, generic stuff. If you want to make room, you can definitely run Unicorn. If you did not want to rank up the 7th one because you don't like running it, I understand. Maybe you just run some generic level 4s. Maybe you run some more Link cards. It's up to you to decide that. I know some people are like running level 10 Exceeds. I'm going to admit, in this version of the deck, it's not as great. I found in the raw deck, I did sometimes want to go for level 7 Exceeds, but in this deck, not so much. But if you have, Dreadnought Cannon, you could run that. Dora the Explorer, and Gustav Max, there are instances where you could run these big level 10s guys, but I found from playtesting, they just weren't, I wasn't making them as much in this deck as I was in the other deck. So that's just my experience. But for the extra deck, guys, that is the extra deck in a nutshell. All 15 there. And I hope you guys all enjoyed this deck. Like I said, this is a very fun deck to play. It is not super competitive. It's strictly fun. It's one of those type of decks you can play against your buddies, have a lot of fun, and enjoy yourself a lot. Because that's the way I wanted to build this deck initially, is because I wanted it to be just a fun Egyptian god deck. And I'm happy Konami's given us more support for Egyptian gods. I'm looking forward to when we get the other OCG imports for Egyptian god cards. You'll definitely see an update of that. But for now, this is what I've been running. It's been working pretty well. We are using a lot of the new support, and it's a different take than strictly just making the deck Winged Dragon of Ra. So, hope you guys all enjoyed it, and until next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling to all of you. I'll see you all next time, and Seto Kaiba out. Go Egyptian gods.